to get a chance to have a date with her one-on-one. She's a gem. She's true to who she is. I can understand Tommy's question and what my feeling.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you about Ready to Love. Man, Tommy was questioning Paul about his decision to, I guess, connect with Dakiya, and I guess he was questioning the strength of Paul's feelings towards her. And I understand why. I think we've seen a late horse come in the race, and also we've seen how Paul has been with the other women. And then he went on to make a comment, which is, she's so real, but everyone else has not been so real. And that guess make Tommy question, I guess, Paul's real intentions and thoughts towards Dakiya. But I'm going to share my personal sentiments and thought and talk a little bit, some inside information that I have. If you're new to this channel, do me a massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals, you got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there, they are hot. Let's not waste much time, but before we get into anything, let's get the outro going. Little black, you know what time it is. Now, I think watching Ready to Love this particular this season has been a bit of a jiggle jaggle up and down around the world. And obviously, myself, Little Black Book, was invited to the press release at the beginning of the season, and so I got to hear some of the answers from some of the cast members. I knew that Tiffany had a connection with Wiley at the time, and I also heard with with Dakiya saying that Paul made her feel the safest. And I remember asking the question, what made her, I think someone asked the question, what did he do? And I think she just said he just made her, he made her feel safe, which is beautiful. So it makes it doesn't make it a surprise that we're at the end of the season and Dakiya and Paul have kind of connected. I think the natterings that I'm kind of hearing from the audience, as well as myself, really, is the fact that, is this a settling mode for Dakiya? Right? Not because Paul's a bad catch, but just because she's not fully convinced about how she feels about the romantic connection. There's no immediate spark there for Dakiya. She feels safe emotionally, but there's no real romantic spark. The eros love there, the vibration, the making you want to feel hot and fluttery, it seems, from Dakiya's end. And so we see, obviously, their connection being one of almost platonic in a sense, but kind of staying on the show kind of sense, right? So I can totally understand why Tommy wanted to question Paul and his particular intentions towards, or at least question whether he really did like Dakiya that much. Because the honest truth was, we didn't get to see much of their connection in that light. The last 2 weeks or so, we've seen them grow closer. But has there been that spark? No. And so for me, it's one of those things where we're like, are they just staying on the show? Are they settling? Are they just agreeing mutually to kind of explore it and see where it goes? Because it could be a genuineness where they're just exploring see where it goes, and can we make this work? I think, I don't want to throw that out the air, because I think we have to always be open to another possibility where people are growing in like and love. It does happen. It's not the majority of us in the Western culture and society, but it does happen where people do spend time with one another, maybe not like each other romantically at the beginning the way that most of us do, but then begin to grow in that aspect. So I can see that happening potentially for Dakiya and Paul, especially if he promotes that safety and that stability that maybe Dakiya wants. Dakiya is obviously a star, Paul's a star. Paul wants someone that's going to be, on the grind and pushing him and kind of just getting him to that next level. And he wants to push the person also to that next level, which is why him and Sabrina potentially didn't work as well. And why later on, we'll discuss in another video, why the brother said Dakiya would not stop his grind, right? She wouldn't stop this grind because she's also driven as well. I think because I think when we heard him say, obviously, no one else was genuine, I was alluding to the fact that, okay, I think he was maybe more alluding to the fact that Carmen came out left in the last episode. And I haven't had my say on the Carmen issue, because it's really interesting to see how Carmen was involved with the Eric situation, how Carmen was involved with Kia, and now involved with Paul. And just the way she has spoken about Paul and Dakiya specifically, I didn't like it. Let's keep it a buck. It seemed gossipy, it seemed off key, and it just seemed off brand. Like it wasn't cute. Like it wasn't nice to see. Like, and when people do those kind of things, you question their whole ethos and you question the whole character, and you question whether they really are true and down for the if they've got a mean spirit in them, right? All this he say, she say kind of nonsense. Now, if she had said what Eric had said and we hadn't seen a videotape, I wouldn't have believed it either. So there is also room for the fact that she is telling the absolute truth, and people are out here talking the most wickedest and wickedest behind the scenes. There's also that possibility too, because we saw Eric do that to Dakiya. So I can't all the way shut down, be like on Carmen. And we'll discuss her as well, because I want to do a separate video with Carmen and Sabrina, because it seems that those two have become the wickedest villains on this Ready to Love. So, I totally understand why they like Tommy was looking at Paul in that particular way, because it does seem like it's out of the blue as well. I think, he said in the last few episodes beforehand how Dakiya and Carmen are choices of his now and past, right? OG or OG Paul or whatever, Gigolo Paul, whatever, and the new Paul now. And I said in that review, I said, well, if that's the case, he should go Dakiya, because Dakiya is representing what he is now and where he's going to. We don't want to represent somebody from the past. Like, it's nice to have somebody who can talk to your past, but I mean, where you're going to is what's more important, right? Because that's what marriage is. That's what relationship is. It's us relating to one another in terms of where we're going as well, in terms of where we're heading to, where are we moving to. So you don't want to choose somebody from the past. You want to choose somebody who's going to be representing your future. All right. So totally, I personally had Dakiya in the top for his choice because of what was shown to us in the last few episodes as well. I mean, this whole show promotes gameplay in some shape or form, right? Because in order to stay on, you got to gameplay a little bit. You got to have other connections. You got to have other people, as we saw with Demetrius and Sabrina. Now they got no more connections. They both got to vote out. So there is a bit of gameplay that happens. I think with Paul and Dakiya, though, I can see how two driven, ambitious people can move forward. I just don't think Paul has what Dakiya wants. That's why I'm saying it seems like a connection of convenience. I think Dakiya is willing to explore it, be open to it, but I think she knows deep down her heart this ain't it. Not because Paul's a bad catch, but because, simply put, there is no romantic connection. When we saw Dakiya with Eric, you saw the energy, you saw the vibes, you saw the laughing, you saw the the banter. When you even saw her with Wiley, you saw the cheekiness, you saw the little flirtation, you saw the hand on the chest, you saw that. When you saw with Clifton, you saw the hugging. When Dakiya likes you, there's a lot of hand touching, there's a lot of touching. I'm yet to see much touching with Paul. I've heard the little laugh that she does, but I haven't really seen the touching. And I think that in itself tells us all we need to know. I think that tells us where I think Dakiya is in the process. So I can understand why Tommy thought Dakiya wasn't really on it. Thought that Tommy, that whether Paul's really being genuine about the situation, because honestly, I don't think Dakiya's even spoke. She's spoken well of the situation, but she hasn't spoken in a way that says, I'm on it, I want it. There is no hardcore drive, it seems, from Dakiya. Paul maybe, but not from Dakiya herself. And again, that's not saying that Paul's a bad catch, but rather saying the reality is we came late, and two, the girl doesn't really feel you like that. Let's watch a bit more.
Feelings are towards Dakiya. This is a brand new connection. However, your task for me was to take a quantity of 10 women and get the quality.
Listen, I totally hear what you're saying. Look, he had a task to do. He completed the task, and Pio's always going to complete the task. Pio's always going to deliver the box. We understand. Listen, and that makes sense. I think what Tommy's just kind of really reiterating is, if these connections are not real, I might start voting people out. And that I could understand, because we don't want to see as long as we don't want to see fake connections either.
Of those 10 women. Job done.
I'm watching you, Paul.
Make sure you got some popcorn, because it's going to be a long ride.
And on that note, guys, like it, share, subscribe, but let us know your thoughts down below. Do you believe in Paul and Dakiya connection? Let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Little Black.